I'm an anxious, depressed, obsessive-compulsive 21-year-old woman. And I'm a victim of a type of sexual assault I didn't know existed until 6 months ago. But despite all that, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm well, and I'm pretty happy considering. Unfortunately, many people in my position aren't so happy, aren't so fine after their dealings with the murky, mystical grey area of sexual assault that is unwilling consent. So, over the next 15 minutes or so, I want to use my experiences and what I've learned from them to make you think about how we can better understand the subject. So, I was 13. Oh, that's awkward. That's young. Sorry. But anyway, there I am, 13. Yeah, that's Mickey Mouse judging me in the background, and those are lipstick stains on my walls. This was the night I met him. I was so excited. He was 14, 1 year older than me. I could not believe that someone older than me was interested, because, yeah, I was outgoing, I was confident, but deep down I was still painfully shy and extremely insecure. So, age meant authority. In my head, if someone older than me vouched their interest, I would immediately bow down. I'd be like, oh my goodness, thank you so much, I am so validated, thank you. I couldn't believe it. So, it was validation. Right. I thought the world of this man, even though I only met him at a Youth 16 event, which is essentially an under-16s disco. My friends also met someone they liked that night. It was amazing. It was like there was this divine, cosmic tapestry being woven in front of our very eyes, and we'd already started dreaming about all the wonderful things we could do together with our newfound partners, walking hand in hand on the beach, walking arm in arm into a cinema perhaps. Lucky us, that happened. A few days after, we went to see Shrek. This sparked conflict in my mind because I was meeting a boy, I was going on a date, this was my step into adulthood. But yes, we will see the ultimate children's movie, Shrek. So what? We'll be adults and children at the same time, it's fine. It gets uncomfortable here, guys, because it's about sexual assault and it involves Shrek. Ugh. I want you to fight through that uncomfortable feeling. Try and find an element of comedy, because that's what I've had to learn to do. It's fine, don't worry. He texted me before. He said, oh, Mollie, I'm very excited to see you. I responded, oh, thank you. I'm very excited to see you. I had these expectations I could not wait to see come to life. You know, perhaps a yawn, arm around, you know, exchanging giggly glances with my friends over there. So, the day came. We sat a few rows along from my friends. We wanted to be alone, we wanted to be separate. Remember, we were adults, watching Shrek, but we were adults at the same time. It's fine, it's fine. So, he puts his hand on my leg. Ooh. Ooh, this is exciting. It's happening. I've entered adulthood. Adulthood is here. This is happening. Okay. And then he puts his hand a bit further up on my thigh now. Oh no, this is not what I want. No, this is not what I want. I do not want this. No, I should want this. I'm an adult. This is what adults do. I should be excited. This is what people do. You see it in the movies all the time, you know, hand on leg, all very nice, exciting. But nevertheless, I didn't want it. So I put my hand there, but he kept on going, and he kept on going. And I'll stop there in terms of detail, but you can see where I'm going. So, it's awkward, because I said no with my hands, but I haven't used my voice. So, did I consent to it? I don't know. I still don't know. It happened to me and I have no idea. Anyway, it happened. I hated every minute of it, but it happened. We all came home, we had a big girly sleepover, and I thought to myself, you know what, that was out of my control. I couldn't do anything about that, that was out of my control, so do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try and get some control back. So, I thought, I'll tell my closest friends. Why not? Do you know what, to help me, I'll make it sound like I wanted it, because then I could convince myself I wanted it and it didn't happen. So I told them, my closest friends, and they reacted, oh, they were very excited. Oh, they reacted with lots of oohs and ahs and oh, wow. So, I arrived at school the next day. Everyone knew. They had told everyone. They had taken something so personal to me and felt as though they can shout it from the rooftops. But that's what people do, especially 13-year-old girls. I got the classic, I got the sluts, I got the slags, I got the whores. I was 13. I got someone come up to me and say, I heard he used a straw. No, he didn't use a straw, actually. Whilst in my head thinking, how would that even work? This gives you an idea of the sort of shape the rumours started to take. They had created their own narrative, a narrative of which one of my closest friends threatened to sell to the newspapers if ever I got famous. Lovely. So I did what every 13-year-old girl does when they're upset and they're hurt, and I came home to my mum and I cried. I cried and cried and cried, and she didn't know what to do, so she just gave me the best advice she could. She said, text him. Tell him how you feel. So I took part of that advice. I texted him, I told him how I felt, but I also asked him what I should do. Authority, age, issue. Everyone knows, everyone's calling me names, I don't know what to do, what should I do? Do you know what you should do? Kill yourself. Slut. Cue my depression making its grand entrance from stage left. So, years went by. And about 6 months ago, 8 years after it all happened, I saw him at a club. Oh, I went back into that same state of panic and dread and utter shame that I felt all those years ago at school. And I ran out of the club crying and I got a taxi home. And I couldn't figure out why I was still annoyed, because it was 8 years ago. And then I saw this post online. So the key parts of this post are unwillingly consented. They now feel violated but don't feel like they can say they were raped or molested. Nobody talks about it. Nobody tells you that you were in fact abused, and it can take you years, to realise that what happened to you is wrong. Rape and molestation can happen in many circumstances, and not just the ones we are taught. I still get really emotional when I read this piece, because it's very validating. You know, and I hope it helps some of you out there that may have had a similar situation to this. You know, unfortunately, these cases aren't few and far between, and we have our trauma backpacks. You know, and reading things like this can help us just take them off and put them on the floor and walk away. It's lovely. You know, you can call yourself a victim, and you do deserve support as well. So there's a reason I'm telling you all this. And it's not to depress you, and it's not to make you pity me, but as I said, these situations are not few and far between, and many of you here will have experienced something like this. It's devastating. And this is the first time something like this happened to me, but not the last, unfortunately. So according to the Association of American Universities, 33.1% of women, 39.1% of transgender students, and 8.6% of men experience non-consensual sexual assault or contact during college or university. University is where you come to hone your craft, it's where you come to make new friends and relish in your experiences. Isn't it awful that non-consensual sexual contact even makes an appearance, let alone such a prolific one? Now, a lot of victims, they're not always scared to come forward, because like me, some didn't report it because they didn't know that it was assault. And that's quite believable when you realise that 18% of college students still think someone has consented as long as they haven't said no. Oh, surely it's common sense, isn't it? You know, non-verbal cues, and if someone's not into it, you should not continue. Easy. Now, to bring it closer to home, a survey carried out by The Telegraph in 2015 showed that 1 in 3 UK female students are sexually assaulted or abused on campus. Oh, this should make you feel uncomfortable. It makes me feel uncomfortable. It makes me feel unsafe. Now, I'm aware that due to all the recent outpour of allegations, I need to address the backlash, because there is one. It's true that not all people who are accused of sexual assault are true perpetrators, and for the wrongly accused, this can impact their life terribly, and more importantly, unjustly. We all remember the Brock Turner case of 2015, am I right? Yeah. This was a case he almost got away with because it might harm his swimming career. What? In history, we have a tendency to immediately blame the victim, and we immediately give our sympathy to the accused. This doesn't make sense. With this in mind, accusations, whilst being dealt with seriously, need to be carefully examined and dealt with meticulously, with justice being the primary goal, not blame. Of course, it's a bit more difficult if, like me, you did not know. So, where do we go? Education. This is where people learn. It's amazing. People learn. Brilliant. We'll go here. Studies show that in education, we are still taught self-defense before we're taught about respect. Isn't that baffling? Why teach retaliation before you teach the foundation of human relationships? Respect. So, it's not all bad, really. From 2019, we should see the rise of age-appropriate sexual content being taught in schools. This includes mental well-being, consent, resilience, and characteristics of healthy relationships, and safety online. Now, this is a huge improvement, and I'm beyond elated about this. It's brilliant. And an even bigger improvement is that it's going to be made compulsory for all UK schools to teach sexual education, something that previously, weirdly, was not a requirement. And although this is amazing, truly it is, there still needs to be an emphasis on types of consent. And we need to build a support network built up of teachers and students and peers, because there should be a central focus for pupils of the future, so they can be learning the characteristics of a healthy relationship, which should intrinsically include consent. School staff should be given flexibility in how they teach this topic, so that they can sensitively adjust how they give the information for cases such as religious background, for example. We could do one more thing, one more push on top of all of this, to help the teaching of sexual education and consent and respect in schools. It should be to make sure that all departments themselves are aware of what consent actually is. Because we don't know. We're still not sure. I still don't know, and it happened to me. You know, in this fuzzy, blurry day and age where the lines are not fixed, we need to open up a discussion between staff, adults and children alike, so that we can all come together and work out how to put a firm end to types of consent that still elude education. Because as a whole, we do lack a basic understanding. The shaming against women, men, transgender students, ethnic minorities, children, and every human on this earth for that matter, needs to stop. We need to build a supportive community where we can discuss methods of learning, be it online or at school, to ensure we have a global understanding of what consent actually is. Then maybe we can put an end to the murky, mystical grey area that we have so much trouble processing in our complex human brains. So, these are a list of UK helplines for anyone that's been affected by what I've been talking about today, so take a picture of it if you want. Yeah, thank you for listening.